Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of natural gas. And in this video, I will also be going over 2x leveraged natural gas, ticker symbol BOIL, as well as United States natural gas, ticker symbol UNG. But before I get into those, I'm going to go over the natural gas chart here. And in last week's video, I had noted that I drew these levels based on the assumption that the bottom was in, and that was not the case. We did continue lower over the course of the past week, and we now hit a low on Friday of $1.83.2, but then closing up from that at a price of $1.87.5. And so you can see here, it does look like it is quite possible that we are putting in a bottoming tail, that hammer candle could suggest that we are going to see a reversal, that the bottom could be in. It is quite possible, though, that we do see another continuation, another week of downward movement. So do keep that in mind. But I do think that there is a little bit of hope that this could be the bottom. I will show one thing in just a minute that could suggest that the bottom is in. But if not, do prepare for further downside. This is called the Widowmaker for a reason, because it's pretty brutal. But, from the data that we have, the information that we have, I did do a retracement. I updated it from the high here back on January 9th, and then coming down to the recent low on February 9th. And so from that retracement and really just kind of working with the assumption that on the last run up, the 50% and 618 level were the levels that were hit as the high before the pullback that we saw here. So if we are to consider that, what are the levels that this price might be going to if the bottom is in? It might, of course, bump its head around the 236, which is at a price of $2.13.57. But I do think it will continue higher, and I do think it could be making its way to the 382 at $2.32.36. But, what I do feel could be a very clear top and clear exit level could be the 50% retracement at $2.47.55. That also does seem to coincide nicely with this blue level that I had marked previously as a gap. That we did get some consolidation around, so that could be acting as resistance moving on the way up. So that 50% retracement could be a realistic top. And then the next level, which I think is going to be the absolute high, but it also could continue higher than this. So also, do prepare for that. But the 618 is at a price of $2.62.74, right around $2.62 in case that level's not hit exactly. But that could be a nice exit from this. But if it is showing strength, if it is showing signs that it could continue higher, the next level up, the 786, is at $2.84.36. So, that would be great if we got up to there. But realistically, I think the 50% retracement as well as the 618 would be ideal targets. But again, looking at, where we are at now with the current price, with this red line that I had put up on the chart last week at $2 and right around 4 cents. We did get consolidation above that, so I do think that is going to be a tough level to break above. And so if during this week we can break above $2.04, maybe close the week above that level, I think that could show signs, of course, that the bottom is in and that we could be moving higher. If we can consolidate at that level, I do think these higher levels will be hit in the near future, so something to keep in mind. But now switching over to BOIL, I just briefly want to go over the same kind of retracement, extending it down to the new low, which was at a price of $17.40. That was hit on Friday, which put in a close at $17.70, being up just about 1%. In the after hours, looks like it's at $17.88. But really, being below $18, that's where price currently is. And if we were to retrace to the level that we got to before, which was here, if I adjust this just a tiny bit, we got up to nearly the 382 on the last run up. So on this cycle, the 382 would be at a price of $26.30. So it is quite possible that that could be the next cycle high. So do brace for that. Although, it is quite possible we do move higher, like to the 50% retracement, right around $29 at $29.05. And that is also right below that gap level where we did consolidate below. So that could be acting as a tough level to get to. With this consolidation over here, the 382 might be the top. But like on the last cycle, how we did not get exactly to the 382, it's quite possible the 236 is the highest one of these levels that we return to, and that would be at a price of $22.90. We do have a lot of consolidation there as well, so it does seem like it will be tough resistance to get through. And also note that the bottom over here was at $23.83. So right around where we have that consolidation, going to be a tough level to break above. And then now moving on to UNG. And so again, did extend this retracement. And on the last cycle run up, similar to natural gas, UNG ran up to the 618. And so on this next run up, that would be returning to a price of $23.45. But if we don't make it that high, if that is not the end of the next cycle run up, the 50% retracement is at $22.21. So that is another level to consider. Both of these being well above that gap level when we did consolidate before the next run up. So something to consider, that it's quite possible that we start to bump our heads at the 236 at a price of $19.43, with that gap level being right at $20, also being a psychological level. So keep that in mind. But before I forget, I almost did, I want to go back to the chart over here to look at this on kind of a bigger time frame and just take a measurement from the top here down to this cycle low, and we can see that that moved down just about 40%. And so if we do the same type of measurement, what percentage down are we relative to this high? And so if we do that, it does look like current price has gone down actually over 40% since that peak. So I'm very curious if this could be a sign of a bottom. And I should note that this was actually pointed out to me by Gareth Soloway during one of his game plan videos, the one that came out on Friday. So you should check that out if you're interested in learning more about his analysis on natural gas, which he does do every day, every morning during his game plans. So yeah, and I will be doing an update next week, Sunday, as I typically do. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.